friends, and welcome to Blended Roots Homestead. I've been struggling for about a month about making this video that I think that I have some really important things to say, but that I feel that whenever you're starting to get started up into the YouTube community, that you worry about, oh, my hair isn't done great, or oh, I've got a scab in the middle of my forehead from picking out a pimple, or that I don't want my kids to hear me, or just because I have teenagers who will laugh, but that's fine, and that makes them sound like mean children, and they're absolutely not. But that I feel like there are some really important things that we need to talk about in preparedness for our children and our families. And as you can tell, I live in an apartment, and there's nothing going on. There's no children playing, there's no cars, there's no anything. It sounds like I live in the middle of the country and I live in the middle of town. And that I think that now more than ever, it is really important, if you have a message, to say it and to not worry about things that people might say. And if somebody has something ugly to say, that's okay. But if I can help someone, that I would much rather do that than worry about saving face. And so, the little bit of a backstory. About 2.5 years ago, we went through a job loss, and that completely shook our family. I was a stay-at-home mom, raising 4 children, and didn't know how unprepared I was for that specific situation. I was young, I was 23, and that I never thought about the fact of what happens if we lost a job, or if we went through a global pandemic. And I didn't think about those things. I didn't have a supply set up at home. I didn't have a savings account. We didn't have a savings account. We didn't have a lot of the things set up that we should have. And long story short, we ended up having to move back home. We had to move in with my in-laws. And whenever that happened, it was like, oh, okay, we're only going to be here for a little while, and then we'll get back up on our feet and we'll figure out what we're doing. Well, I started looking up how to, I don't remember why I did it. There was no issue of how am I going to feed my family or anything like that. Nothing like that happened, but that I went and I looked up how to can. My grandma used to can whenever I was a kid, and that she canned and she grew vegetables. She didn't have any animals, but that she grew a lot of our vegetables that we used throughout the year for her and my poppy and me and my mom. I just looked up how to can, and I found a video that was, I think, an hour and 20 minutes long on how to can for beginners. And I will try, I'm new to YouTube, so bear with me. I will try to link that video down below if you have never watched anything from Guildbrook Farm with Jamie and Jeremy. They are absolutely amazing. They are extremely informational, and that just kind of sent me on a little bit the just complete obsession with homesteading and the community that's available there. And that I started looking up how to can, how to raise chickens, how to take care of the earth, because we haven't been. And that's, for some people, that's not a very popular opinion, but that we haven't been taking care of the creation that we were given. And that with everything going on the way that it is, that I think that it's time to make a very serious change. Yes, we do live in an apartment. We do not live in an area where I can have a garden or animals or anything like that. I can't even have a cat if I wanted one. But there was a video that I put out. It was my first video that I ever made, and it was let's talk about tomatoes. And that I was sitting in what looks like the middle of the country, because it was. That was my in-laws' house, and that I had this urge to just grow something. Even if I didn't get anything, I just wanted to grow something. And I did. I grew a lot of things, but that we didn't get hardly anything from that. And that was a learning experience. Please, if you're going to do something along those lines, even if you just want to see a seed come out of the dirt, do not get discouraged if you do not get anything. You got a seed to grow into a plant. And so a couple of weeks ago, I was really, really sick. Couldn't get out of bed, had all of the flu symptoms. I did not have coronavirus, but that I was extremely, extremely sick, and that my family ended up getting extremely sick. And that after the tail end of that, I had made a video. And that whenever you are brand new into deciding that you want to grow your own food and you want to have a farm and that you want to do all the things and you're so excited, I do what you can with what you can. Do what you can with what you have. And that I was saying that no, I can't grow this huge garden out on my little patio that I'm on right now because, first of all, I have absolutely no sun. That it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon and that there is no sun. There's no sun back here. And that we were going to go to farmers markets and that we were going to can because I still can. That preserving food, that I make all of our own jellies. I have pressure canned a little bit. That wasn't a difficult learning curve. That once you get to where you're not terrified of it, that I think that it's an amazing skill to have, and that if you have the opportunity to try, absolutely do. And if you have someone in your life who possibly is an older generation, or if you have someone in your generation or a friend or something that knows how to pressure can, absolutely go and ask them, can I just watch? I encourage you to do that. That I didn't have anyone except for YouTube to watch those things, and so I learned from the books that I read, and I learned from just trial and error and sitting in front of my stove in a chair just watching the pressure gauge. And the video that I wanted to say that I was going to be more active on YouTube, and that I think that if there is someone that's searching for some type of information, that the little bit that I do have, I would love to share with anybody that wants to learn. So I'm going to be more diligent about being more active on YouTube. I want to make sure that I'm posting it to Instagram, especially in this time of doubt and that people are being quarantined in their homes, and that we have a lot of food shortages. That you go to the grocery store and there's no toilet paper, which I think is insane, but that's just my opinion. That there's no toilet paper, there's no paper products, there's no beans. Everything in the refrigerator section is gone. I feel that there are a lot of skills that throughout our generations have been lost, and I think that we need to wake those back up again, and that we need to learn. And speaking from being a millennial, I think that it's extremely important to learn how to take care of our families and take care of ourselves. And so, with all of that being said, saying that I'm going to be more active on YouTube, the old way of doing things, that there's a bunch of skills that have been lost on us, whether be it that we weren't listening or that our grandparents and parents thought that we didn't want to learn. That whatever it is, if you have someone like that available to you, please reach out to them and ask. Do you know how to grow this? Do you know how to can this? Can you give me any advice on what you used to do? If you can do those things, absolutely do it. And if not, I'm going to attempt to be here for everyone that I can to teach what I can. And so if you guys have any suggestions on something that you would like to learn, if I know how to do it, I am more than happy to show you, or we can, as some great people say, burn it to learn it, and we can figure it out together. So that was my message for today, that we don't need to be scared. Take that fear and do something constructive with it. We have no reason to be scared. Well, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. There are reasons to be scared right now. But instead of just sitting in your fear, let's do something with it. And that we can be extremely constructive or we can be destructive, and that I think that just sitting in your fear is extremely destructive to your health and to your mental health, and that doesn't move us anywhere. That doesn't get us anywhere. You get nowhere fast, is what my mom used to say. And so let's get somewhere as fast as we can and figure out what we need to do for us. For today, guys, that's all I have to share, and that I look forward to talking to all of you and spending time in learning new things. Next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.